Hello and welcome everybody to another episode of Small Talk with Shibby, my LCS post-game interview content. I'm joined by the victorious C9 Blaber, and I'm going to get right into it, man. It seems like you guys are head and shoulders above the rest of the LCS. Even a team like Team Liquid, who is undefeated, they don't seem to be on your level just yet. How have you guys been able to just maintain that form coming in from spring, right? Usually there's MSI hangover. You had obviously the delay. Like, how is your team just able to kind of keep the fire going?
I think there are a lot of decent teams in the league right now. I think overall, like, people aren't playing that good, to be honest. But I think that we didn't fall off quite hard from MSI. I think that we've been working pretty hard, especially to stay in form. So I'm really happy with that. And yeah, I think that we've just been putting in the work, and I'm happy that we're able to win. But besides that, yeah, I think TL is looking strong. I think that other teams in the league can also contest us. I'm not sure if FlyQuest are a real 0-4 team, but maybe they are.
Yeah, maybe it seems like, you know, the scrim bucks aren't getting cashed in for some teams at the moment right now. I do want to kind of maybe talk about what it feels like being at the top, right? Because when you're at this level, right, when you're, like, I would say, dominating the LCS, I'm unsure of your scrim records, but I'm assuming they're going pretty well. Do you feel as if, like, you're not getting maybe adequate practice out of it, where it's like, okay, I'm making other teams better, right? I'm doing like really intricate jungle pathing, or I'm picking these different champions and I'm giving them ideas. Like, how do you guys get something out of these scrim practices? Like, what do you guys particularly try to do, right? Obviously the static shiv stuff has been a mess recently, but how do you kind of get value out of scrims, get value out of these practices when you are just so far above, I think, some of these teams?
I don't think we're that much better than all the teams in the league. Maybe it looks like it, but we're not stomping scrims or anything. And I do think that we can take a lot away. Like, we can take a lot away from our scrims. Like, we don't focus as much as we could be sometimes in scrims. I think that we also could be trying newer picks, and there's a lot that we could be doing to make the practice more useful. I think that our practice hasn't been horrible, though. I think that we've been doing a lot to help improve our game. So overall, I'm pretty happy. But yeah, we're definitely not stomping scrims at all. So I mean, we're not losing, but like, it's not like we're destroying everyone.
Not like 90-10 or anything like
Yeah.
that. It's still, you know, you guys still got to kind of
35, something like that.
Okay. I mean, that's still pretty good. I do want to maybe look ahead a little bit. I did talk to Golden Guardians, some of the players that went over to MSI, and they were kind of taking Summer Split as like a, hey, we want to get to playoffs. We want to become a more diverse team when it comes to Worlds. Is that kind of C9's mindset? Because it seems like you guys obviously are picking different things specifically in the jungle, right? With the Kha'Zix, the Kindred, now the Nocturne, obviously one of your specialties. Are you guys also trying to maybe diversify yourself when it comes to Worlds, right? When it comes to kind of facing better competition? Because right now, obviously, the parallel between you guys and Golden Guardians in the standings is very apparent. So, like, what is, I guess, C9's mentality coming into like this split, and also maybe further into Worlds? Like, are you guys trying to work on becoming a more diverse team and carry from different roles? Like, how does that work?
We're definitely working on playing new champs. I think that we obviously as a team know our strengths, but we will play just honestly what we think is best, regardless of if it fits, our team play style, right? And we're just picking what we think is strong. Like, obviously, I'm playing new champs like Kindred, Kha'Zix, and I guess Nocturne's not new, right? But
Yeah.
I just think those champs are good right now, so I'm just picking them. And for me, it's pretty simple. Just play what I think is best, and even if it's like not what you're the most comfortable on, like best of ones are what, like, it's meant to build up confidence to, if you're a winning team, that is, it's meant to build up confidence and prep different picks so that it's harder for teams to prepare against you going to playoffs.
You touched on the jungle meta. I do want to talk about it because, obviously it's kind of a new look. I mean, specifically for you, it's a bit of a new look, right? You were playing a lot of Maokai, Wukong, Vi. I think there's a Rengar game thrown in there at one point. I mean, now obviously you've played 3 unique champions in the last 4 games. Does the jungle meta feel pretty open to you? Are we gonna see the Rengar come back? Are we gonna see some like Kane? Like, you don't got to reveal the picks, but do you feel like the jungle meta is for you at least particularly pretty open? You can kind of pick what you think is good, like you said?
I definitely think the jungle meta is pretty open. I think that there are strong champs in the meta.
Of
That
course.
obviously, I think Kindred and Vi are both very strong right now. Um, and so I think like it's not like that easy to pick whatever you want. Like there's still really strong champs, but I think once the really OP champs are gone, like you can pretty much play whatever you feel comfortable on. Um, like you saw today, Contract played Ivern,
Yeah.
and I played Nocturne. People are picking up Kindred. I think you can pick a lot of different unique champs right now.
Um, Obviously, you mentioned that there are a couple teams, right? Maybe Fly's not an 0-4 team. Has there been maybe a team specifically that you've kind of been surprised about recently at the standing? I think EG is a team that a lot of people were surprised about. Was there any particular player maybe or team that you were like, oh yeah, they should be really good, or wow, it's surprising that they're stomping this early? Maybe someone like Team Liquid even.
I'm not that surprised that TL is doing well. I mean, I didn't expect them maybe to be in tied for first, but from our practice games against them, I always thought that TL would be one of the better teams in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Obviously surprised that FlyQuest is 0-4. I think that they're a lot better than some of their counterparts. I think that um, it's surprising that Immortals are 2-1. To be honest, I think that they're definitely not that good, but who knows, right? They could be and they could surprise me. So I think it's too early in the standings for me to say like what's surprising because I think 4 games is just not enough to
Not enough
define a
data.
split. So maybe after like the first 9 games are done, I'll have like a better read on how teams are actually playing on stage.
You've obviously played with a number of different mid laners, right? Niski, Perks, legendary names, right? Now that you've kind of had more time with Emenes, what is something that he does differently or maybe even does better than some of the other previous kind of mid laners that you worked with? Because I think like you almost always synergize pretty well with all the other mid laners you've played with. Is it like kind of that same instant connection? Like, does he make your job easier? What does Emenes do that maybe better or different that maybe some of the other mid laners that you've played with don't really do or didn't really do?
I mean, I don't know if like they didn't do like I think that's like I'm not sure if that's what I would say, but I think Emenes has a lot of really good strengths. I think he's really good at laning. I think he sees kill angles that most other people's don't. He sees a different way, how to play side lane, how to play his lane phase. He's very like detail oriented,
Mhm.
with how he wants to pick his champs, how he wants to play his lane phase. So I think it's just something he really focuses on, and I think it's quite good um for us.
I do want to kind of touch up on your individual game a little bit. I think you've been praised as probably one of the most, if not, more intelligent kind of pathing junglers when it comes to scouting out enemy jungle pathing and stuff like that. Like in last week when your red got invaded and you pathed around the vision ward to kind of come back and get your raptors and recontest. Is that stuff like you scout out, or is that kind of like instinctual for you? Do you kind of like, all right, I'm gonna watch all these guys' games, this is how he likes to path, this is like these guys like to play? Like how do you kind of prep for your jungle pathing? Is it just kind of on the fly for you, or is it kind of some of it is pre-prepped?
I mean, for me, it's pretty simple. At least during the regular season, during playoffs, I do some more scouting on my individual counterpart, what they like to do. But for regular
Mm-hmm.
season, I've been playing a while in this league, and I generally know what each player is gonna do. For example, Spica doesn't really like um to gank as much. He likes to farm a little bit more. Boogie ganks 24/7, never farms. Um, so it's like I have like a general idea of what these players like to do, like which ones like to invade, stuff like that, and I have like an idea of what I'm gonna do with my pathing, but a lot of the adjustments are on the fly, at least in my regular season games. And I just make the decision that I think is best. Sometimes I have a pre-planned level 1 invade or pre-planned level 1 defense against their level 1 invade, stuff like this. I will have planned, but besides that, yeah, a lot of the first chicken respawn buff, second buff, it's all usually uh on the fly in the game, depending on how the game's going.
Last question, obviously, who kind of has been? It's only been 4 games, but who maybe this season in scrims, or who has kind of been the toughest jungle matchup for you? Like trying to figure out and be like, oh, what is this guy gonna do? Like, what timing is he gonna go on? Who has like kind of impressed you, or has been the toughest to kind of maybe jungle against?
To be honest, I don't think anyone has been playing like that insane. I haven't been. I mean, I haven't felt like anyone or any any of the matchups have been that like impressive. I think there are like good junglers in the league, right? But I wouldn't say it's like. But to be honest, like I'm just someone who doesn't get impressed that easily, I would say. Um, and I think that I also myself haven't been playing that well, at least for my standards. So it's something that I want to work on for the rest of the split.
Well, Blaber, any final messages to the Cloud9 fans? Anything you have to say to anybody tuning in?
Yeah, thank you everyone who watched and everyone who comes to the stadium. I appreciate all the support, and yeah, C9's gonna win a third championship in a row.
Well, thank you so much, C9 Blaber, for taking time out of your busy schedule to join me.
Cool, thank you very much.